Welcome to Lake TV's Community Spotlight Show, brought to you by the great folks at COMC, Central Ozarks Medical Center, where your health is their mission. And we've got Kathy Wiesen with us here today from the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. How's Kathy?
I'm doing great, and it's always a pleasure to be with you.
Yeah, you know, we were talking earlier, you were our very first guest on the Community Spotlight Show like 4 years ago.
Well, that's amazing that it's kept going then.
It really is, isn't it? But you are a very special part of this community because you run the local Fellowship of Christian Athletes. So how long have you been here with FCA at the lake?
We are in our 15th year. FCA existed at some of the schools, depending if there were coaches that wanted to be involved in it. But as far as having an actual representative, it's been 15 years.
15 years. Has it gone by fast or slow?
Very quickly.
Yeah, that tends to happen, doesn't it? So you work with a lot of schools here at the lake. Do you work with schools outside of the lake area?
Yes, I have 19 school districts. So basically, from a geographic standpoint, it would be from Eldon to Camdenton, north and south. And then I go about an hour 20 east and west.
Okay. So you do a lot of traveling.
My car, well, it's my third car since I started the job, has a lot of miles.
Right. Do you enjoy that? Do you enjoy being on the road?
I do. I listen to a lot of podcasts. I do a lot of praying when I'm in that role, particularly if I've just left a school and learned of situations.
Yeah.
So I do like to drive.
Wow. So that time really kind of works out for you. Okay. So you focus a lot on working with coaches, right? When I think of FCA, I think of in school with students and stuff, but it's even more so with coaches. Why is that?
It is really important because coaches have so much influence on our students. And we have an upcoming banquet where our entire focus is going to be on coaches. And most people feel like you, they think we're just students.
Right.
And I have a heart for students. I'm a former educator. I think we have approximately 29 student huddles in the area. So that's a huge part of what we do. But our big emphasis is to work to and through the coach so that they are Christ followers, because of the influence they have on all those students.
And that's a huge influence. I mean, anybody that's grown up playing school sports, right? I mean, a lot of times that coach is like a parental figure.
Absolutely, particularly with the statistics on divorce and broken families. Many coaches act as a father figure or a mother figure for students.
Yeah, you guys do something called E3 with coaches. What is E3?
This is our strategy to disciple coaches, and that means that we're engaging with coaches, we're equipping them with the Word of God, and we're empowering them to be a Christ follower, an example for their students, and they will have opportunities to share their faith in different situations.
Is it hard to work with coaches? Because, I mean, coaches are pretty powerful, driven people, right? Is it easy or hard to work with coaches? How does that work?
Well, I love it because I was a coach for 25 years, so I enjoy every minute that I spend with a coach. And it's so interesting because coaches are in all different phases of their faith. There's some that are non-believers, there are some that are believers, but they don't really have time for it, or they don't have it as a primary focus.
Right.
And then there are other coaches that are very mature in their faith. So there's a range there, and our goal is to help every coach know Jesus Christ and then to develop and grow in their faith.
How do you start out that process with a coach? I mean, if you walk in their office and they're already a believer, it's probably pretty easy.
Yes.
But what if you walk in and they're not a believer? How do you go about that?
Well, that's with our E3, it's about engaging. Like, I can meet them in terms of talking about what they do as a coach. I've had the highs, the lows. I know the pressures that they're through. So certainly we'll use that as a platform. But then just how are they living out their life, and where are the struggles, and do they have a faith base? And then that allows us an entry point to talk about their faith.
Right. So do you ever, with non-believing coaches, do they let you come in and sit down and just talk, just
Absolutely.
have, conversation?
Absolutely. And it, there's not a formula. It's different with every coach.
Yeah.
For some coaches, we may have that discussion right away. Other coaches, it may be a couple years where I'm just dropping by, saying hi, and then maybe something in their life happens where that allows us an entry point to talk about it.
And you can talk about coaching since you have coached in the past and
Yes.
played in the past, so that all plays out. Does it help, since you're the Fellowship of Christian Athletes, the athletes is a big part of this, does it help when like pro players come out with their testimony that they believe in God, that they follow Jesus? I think like people like Patrick Mahomes and Brock Purdy, Steph Curry, some big names have come out and talked about their faith and in Christianity and Jesus and stuff. Does that help you?
It absolutely does. And for them to see role models like that, to know that, oh, wow, these guys or these gals are walking out their faith, that's very encouraging, particularly to our younger kids.
Yeah. I mean, they see that. I know it was, there's been several pro athletes that said, I'm not a role model. They are role models, aren't they?
Absolutely. Kids are watching every single thing they do. And that's why we're pouring into our coaches, because kids are watching every single thing that our coaches do as well.
Absolutely. Okay. So we're learning some fascinating stuff here. Kathy Wiesen, the FCA, and they've got a banquet coming up. We'll talk about that. So don't go anywhere. Stay with us here on the Community Spotlight Show.
Don't miss out on your favorite show. Watch Lake TV on demand on YouTube, Roku, and Fire TV.
Central Ozarks Medical Center, voted Missouri's best and best at the lake, is recruiting team members due to growth. Amazing employment opportunities for both medical and non-medical positions with competitive salaries and outstanding perks. For more information, go to the Careers tab at centralozarks.org. COMC for the best medical, dental, and behavioral health care. Join a leader. Join our team. COMC, where your health is our mission.
Take Lake TV with you wherever you go. Watch Lake TV on demand on YouTube, Roku, and Fire TV.
If it's happening at the lake, it's happening on Lake TV. From the polar plunge to festivals, parades, aquapalooza, and boat shows, Lake TV has it all. Even the granddaddy of them all, the shootouts. If you're looking for places to party, things to do, or even a new home to move into, you've gotta love Lake TV. Welcome back to Lake TV's Community Spotlight Show. We're talking with Kathy Wiesen of the LOTO, Lake of the Ozarks FCA here. So you have a big banquet coming up, your annual banquet. Tell us when that is and what are we going to get?
It's March 11th, and it's at the Lodge of Four Seasons. It is our 15th annual banquet. Many people don't know that when we're in FCA, we're like missionaries in that all of our funding is 100% faith-based.
Wow.
And so 3 pieces to that. We have people that give to us monthly or a single gift annually. We have our banquet that raises money and encourages people to come on our home team. And then we have the Bridge and Dam race. The banquet is coming up, and it's going to be really powerful this year because we are totally focusing on how important the influence of the coach is on students. There's going to be a lot of things that have been written or said by students about how important their coaches are. So that's going to be really neat.
Okay, when is it?
March 11th, Monday night, from 6:30 to 8:30, and they can contact us through our website if they want more information.
What's the website?
It is LOTO, L-O-T-O, FCA.org.
Okay, so it's Monday, March 11th. Where at?
The Lodge of Four Seasons.
Okay, so and this is where you've done it for the last several years.
Yes.
Okay, and this is like a whole night thing, an hour or two?
It goes 6:30 to 8:30, so we have a dinner. There's no cost for people to attend. And then we will have a series of interviews this year where people will find out more about what we do and see the actual impact of how coaches have changed the lives of kids.
Did you say no cost to attend?
No cost.
Wow.
Because we have great sponsors.
Wow. So we can show up, have dinner, be entertained, and it's free.
And we'll also have our staff from the Ukraine who had to move out of Ukraine to the United States for a couple of years and now are in Armenia. And they were brought to Christ through a coach.
Wow. Okay, so that's the banquet, March 11th. What about the race?
10th anniversary of the Bridge and Dam Run, which is on the Strip, and it goes out to Portachima. 5K, 10K, a half marathon, and a 25K. And that website is bridgeanddamrace.com.
bridgeanddamrace.com. And all those kind of in the same little time frame, right?
We call it March Madness, so they're different than the March Madness of basketball, but we're doing it all at once, and it's a great month for us, and it helps us to focus on ministry the rest of the year.
And people can get more information on all that where?
At our website at lotofca.org.
Okay. So back to FCA and what you guys do. You do something called campus ministries. What is that?
Campus ministry would be our student huddles. So if a student wants to have a meeting of FCA on their campus, we will train their leaders. It is student-led, and typically once a week, the students will come and meet. Friday, I was at Oak Ridge in Camdenton, 5th and 6th grade. There was over 100 kids for their monthly meeting.
Wow.
But it also dawned on me that many of our huddles meet on Friday. Across mid-Missouri, there was hundreds and hundreds of kids sharing the gospel with their teammates. Wow. And that's what campus ministry is all about.
You know, that is the most important thing in life, right?
Absolutely.
Do you ever get that realization that in my job, I'm like changing lives for eternity?
And honestly, I'm the facilitator, but I got to give a shout out. It's all our volunteers in all the schools and all our students who are brave enough and bold enough to lead. It's all about us enabling other people to do that. And the number of people that are engaged in that has been exciting.
So you need volunteers then?
Absolutely.
Okay. If somebody's interested in joining your team, how do they do that?
They can contact us through the website, or my email is kwiesen@fca.org.
Okay. All right. So huddles are not teacher-led.
No.
They're kid-led.
There's a teacher on campus who basically supervises, in that the students do the meeting, they lead the meeting, but just for supervision reasons, there has to be somebody in there.
Right.
But that is usually a faith following person that enables the students to be able to have that on their campus.
Is FCA pretty big in this area? I mean, it seems like it is. Everywhere I go, when we do football and basketball, I hear about local FCA.
Yes.
So it must be pretty big.
And I can say in Camdenton and Osage, there are huddles on every campus from kindergarten through the high school, which is really exciting.
That means you're doing something right.
We got great people.
I
We got
think.
great people that are doing it, and once it starts, it just gains momentum.
How about summer when school is out? What do you do then? Obviously, you can't do huddles because there's no school.
Summer camp time. We got the power camps coming up. Those are also on that same website. So the last week of Eldon, June 10th in Camdenton, and then June 18th, we have a leadership training day that any kid, 6th grade through high school, can come.
Okay, and do you need volunteers for that or leaders for that?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
So everything's on that website.
That's right. Go talk to her about that stuff. So, and as you mentioned, FCA is 100% donor-led. You're not paid by FCA. I think all the money goes through FCA.
Yes.
So, there's no shenanigans and stuff. But everything you do comes from local donors.
Absolutely. Civic groups, churches, individuals, and we've just been unbelievably blessed. And I can tell you, I did not take an FCA job for about 8 years because I was too scared to do it. But when I trusted God for what He was calling me to do, we have really never struggled financially, and we are so blessed by the people in this community.
Amen. And it is so hard for a lot of people, especially people with a conscience, right, to go out and say, hey, I need money, right? How did you get over that hurdle to be able to do that?
I had to trust that God's calling. If He calls you to it, He's going to bring you through it. And then it's not about me asking money for me. It's about us saying, hey, this is the mission and vision of what we see could happen in our community. This is how we can get people to follow Christ. And people want to be a part of that.
Okay, tell us again, date and time of the annual dinner.
Monday, March 11th. At the Lodge of Four Seasons from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m.
Okay, and it's going to be worth the time, and it's no cost.
No cost.
Okay, tell us about the race.
March 23rd, Saturday morning, 7:30 at the dam, and depending on what poison you want to pick of your distance, we have a distance that will help you get up and feel good about yourself at the end.
And speed, right? Because you can get some old guy like me just walking.
We got walkers.
Right.
We got walkers, strollers, it's all good.
And you run like 5 miles a day, so.
Not every day, but
you could do anything. But, okay, so keep that in mind. For the Bridge and Dam run, you don't have to run. You could walk, and you could just walk a block if you wanted to. So give us again the website where people can get more information about giving or anything.
LOTO, LOTO, which stands for Lake of the Ozarks, FCA.org.
Okay. Kathy Wiesen, LOTO FCA. Thank you so much for joining us for the Community Spotlight Show.